Hello, this is Doug Sharp from Vintage Museum here in Indianapolis on a cold February afternoon. What I have here today is a 1979 Italian DAP WTR kart with a DAP T72 engine that's completely restored. Now this is a very special kart. The history on this kart is it was bought at the World Championships in 1979, and it was a team car that was either driven in practice or driven in the race. We can't verify that because they weren't keeping the numbers back then on the chassis. Anybody that knows anything about those dates in DAP is from 1978 to 1981. DAP had probably two of the most famous go-kart racers and Formula One stars to ever sit in a seat in the go-kart. One was Senna from Brazil, and his teammate was Fullerton of Great Britain. Now there's been a lot of reproductions and a lot of karts that have been made to look like they were Senna replicas. We decided to do this as a tribute to Fullerton because Fullerton was named by Senna as to be the greatest racing driver that he ever competed against. And their teammates and their story together at this famous Italian karting manufacturer is one of karting lore. Now this is a factory T72 engine that we bought out of Italy that came straight from Achilles Perella's hands. It has the IBEA carburetor, slide carburetor on it, just like they ran in the World Championships. The motor's been completely restored to its glory, and we know through the serial number and from where it was purchased that it indeed was a factory tuned motor that came out of Achilles Perella's hands. Now a lot of these old go-karts you can't really get exactly of what was and who drove it and what races it competed in. But this is a pretty special car. One of the things that's very special about the car is the factory DAP axle stiffener, magnesium axle stiffener. This is an extremely rare piece, and this was our first tip that the chassis was a factory car. Now we know that the DAP importer brought back several karts from the World Championships, and this is obviously one of them. It was pretty much a mess. We found it in Southern California, and the car was pretty much a mess when we got it. It took us over a year and a lot of help from our friends in Italy, friends in Australia, friends in the Netherlands that helped us get all the pieces, the right pieces on this chassis to bring it back to its original glory. Almost every piece on this car we tried to either replace with a new piece from that era or repaired existing pieces that were on the car. It's just an immaculate piece of karting history. We're so proud here to be able to have a customer pay us to build this for them. It's going to go to its new home in California in a private collection. And once again, there wasn't a lot of pictures. There's now only been very, very few pictures of the Senna Fullerton combination and close-ups of the kart. And from those pictures and documentations and conversations, we've done absolutely everything we can to make the car just like it would have run in the 1979 World Championships. It's a 25 millimeter axle car. Obviously it's a direct drive car. It's just an amazing, amazing piece. We preserved the original seat, preserved the original motor, have tried to do absolutely everything to make this exactly as it was in 1979. And there's always going to be pundits. There's always going to be people that come out and say, well, you know, this should have been there, or that should have been there. But again, without having, you know, a lot of photographs, or without having a lot of documentation, or without having actual videos of the race, I think this thing is pretty darn close. We did a lot of studying. We put a lot of time and effort to try to get the car exactly like it was. So, for those of you who are followers of the great DAP line, this is a tribute to Achilles Perella and Mr. Terry Fullerton, 1973 world champion. He should have been champion 5 times, but unfortunately, he had a lot of motor issues in that time. As a matter of fact, in '79, he should have won the race. He won one of the finals, broke one in the finals, and then finished up front in the 3rd final. Thank you so much for taking the time to look at this. We really appreciate your views and comments. Again, this is a 1979 DAP WTR with a DAP T72 engine. Thank you so much and have a great day.